All right, guys. So today we're going to be fixing the sound in this Game Boy Color. So I picked this up several weeks ago locally, Facebook Marketplace, um, for a really good deal. So everything works on it except for no, there's no audio. So and it's in pretty decent shape. So what we're going to see, I'm going to turn this on here just so you guys can see. Everything comes on. Just, get that beep, and during this Tetris game here, we've got no audio. So I think what's wrong with this is the speaker. I know the speakers. I've had a couple of these where the actual speaker's gone. So I've got a couple of replacements, but we're gonna open it up and see just to make sure that's what it is. So let's get to it. So these are pretty easy to take apart. Only a few screws, but they are the wingtip screws. So any of the iFixit kits or any kits like these, I actually picked this up on Amazon the other day, and I'll actually put a link down in the description. So it's just kind of an inexpensive, Japanese, Chinese tool set, and they're great. They're really comfortable. Nice magnetic tips. Every part, every bit you'd ever need for anything. It's got the game bits, the 2.7, or excuse me, the 3.8 and the 4.5 game bits. All the wing tips. It's got basically everything that my iFixit kit has. Um, and I had actually picked this up because I've misplaced, lost a lot of the bits from my iFixit kit. So I was going to replace that, which I did, and I still love that kit. The iFixit kits are great, but this for $15, if you're looking for something just starting out and you need all of these bits, this is great. So again, I'll put a link down in the description for it. So all right, so we're going to take these out. These here, there's 6 of the tri-wing screws here. So we're just gonna take these out. They're pretty small, so having one of these blue mats is pretty nice too, just because you've got the nice magnetic sections here to hold on to your screws up. You don't lose any. I actually have to order some of these because even with that, every once in a while you do lose some screws. So I usually keep a few extras. I'm currently out, so hopefully we don't lose any of these. So I haven't had this apart yet, but I have taken several of these apart, and for the audio issue. The speakers in these are known for going bad. I've had a few that are, the speakers are fine, but once you open it up, like one of the speaker wires is, desoldered and have come loose, or solder joint just isn't good, and you're gonna reflow it and everything's fine. But most of the time, it's the speaker itself, and some of them sometimes they get dirty, and you can clean them, but so at first glance here, it appears as though the speakers are, or the speaker wires are soldered on. So let's take the board out here just so we can get a better look at everything. So there's 3 screws, 3 additional small screws that hold the board down. And these here are not the tri-wing screws. They're just, I think it's let's see here. Yeah, a PH1. the regular Phillips PH1. So there's 3 of them. Take these out. So there's 2 that go through the board here from the case, or 4 actually. These ones go, and then again from the in the battery compartment, but down through these 2. But there's 1, 2, 3 here that are the Phillips that need to come out as well. So now that we get those out, let's go ahead. And then up top here, you kind of have this ribbon cable. You want to be careful with these. They are, let me get my little spudger here. So you want to be careful with this. There is this ribbon cable, and there's a little black retention clip that is underneath the ribbon cable, and you just want to be careful taking that out. But usually what I'll do is grab for my iFixit kit these little and I'll just kind of nudge it out. But you want to be careful with this. Obviously, you don't want to have to replace the screen. So get that undone there, and then we'll pull that out. I'm going to set this aside. So I always like to flip it over and kind of take a look, to see how the pads look. Not a bad idea. So with this one here, the other issue is that the start button and the select button, they work, but you have to give them a good press. And a lot of times it's just these little contacts here are dirty. So while we have it out, we'll take some alcohol and a little Q-tip and clean those pads off. So as far as the speaker goes, it's pretty filthy. So, but the contacts are well, the wires are well soldered onto the board and to the speaker itself. So I think the issue might be, as I suspected, the speaker. So sometimes the speaker cone here is real dirty, and you can just clean it off. But this looks like it's real filthy underneath. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace that. That's what the replacement looks like. So it's a little different, but these do work. Okay, so now that we've got that speaker soldered back in, I'm gonna flip it over, and I'm just going to grab a Q-tip and some isopropyl alcohol, and we're gonna clean off these select start button pads and stuff, just to make sure everything's working when we put it back together. Okay, now that we've got the speaker replaced, and we've got those pads cleaned up a little, we're going to go ahead and put this back together. So always make sure your buttons and everything are in place. Looks like we're good to go. So put this back around. We're going to make sure that that speaker is set down in. The other thing you want to make sure is like these start buttons there and everything. The start button here is kind of set back in, and then we're also going to reconnect this ribbon cable here. Make sure that's nice and seated into the connector real good. Okay. Looks okay. And then push down that retaining clip. Okay. So now we're going to make sure everything is lined up, because sometimes these can be a little difficult to get lined up correctly. So once you think you get it lined up, you can go ahead, start putting everything back together. And again, you don't have to tighten these too tight, right? So you don't want to over tighten anything. So I always make sure there's a little pin right here. Let me get my hand out of the way, but there's this tiny little pin right here. Make sure that is kind of set down in. And there's another pin right here next to that screw. And I always put the center screw in first. So put that in, and then we'll put the other two screws in. Like I said, these just go right into like plastic standoffs. So you don't have to put a whole lot of, you don't have to tighten them too much. Just enough to hold down that board. This whole thing's got plenty of screws in it. So just kind of snug those up. Make sure they're holding that board down. And that's that. So now, get that IPA out of the way. That way I don't spill it. So, speakers on. Ribbon cable. Make sure all your buttons are in. Make sure that on-off switch is working. Yep. Okay. Put it in the off position down. So now we're good to put the back case back on. Okay. And we'll grab our wingtip bit here. So it is a Y 3.0. So in that SHOWPIN case there, and I think in the iFixit kit, I think it's 3.0 is the largest that comes with it, but that one works well. And we're just going to go through here, and again, you don't have to tighten these too much. Just snug them up. Just kind of do one on the top, and then we'll do one down here, and kind of move my way around. Make sure they're nice and snug. So I'll put one more in here, and then we'll give it a test just to make sure everything's working. So, because if not, we're gonna have to take this thing apart again. So we'll grab a couple batteries. Okay. Okay. So now we have our batteries in. Everything's back together. New speakers been soldered on. So let's go ahead and give it a test. And we have sound. So I don't know if you guys could hear that or not, but we got the Game Boy Color bell or sound right when it started. And Tetris, we have sound. So see if I can put it up to the microphone here so you guys can see it, hear it. I'm not sure how well you can hear that or not, but we have audio. So this is fixed. Everything's working on it. Even the buttons, we cleaning up those pads. The buttons are working much better than they were. So we're gonna call this a success, and I appreciate you guys watching. You guys, anybody can do this. So just get a soldering iron, one of those wingtip bits here, take it apart, solder on a new speaker, and you can fix your Game Boy Color. So thanks, guys, and I appreciate everything you guys do, and like and subscribe if you want to. If not, that's okay too. So I appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next video.